The real test of a relationship isn't how you connect. It's how we repair after a disconnect. Like the seasons, relationships shift and they have moods. They have moments of warmth, distance, tension, and repair. And sometimes the healthiest thing we could learn is how to come back to a moment of balance after something sticky, after something was said, maybe that you didn't really mean in that moment. Not every hard moment has to become a permanent divide. It doesn't. We do that so often. Sometimes repair begins just with one honest conversation. I had a moment recently that what I meant to say came out differently. And it created some distance and some tension. In a moment of frustration, I said something sharp. And almost immediately, I realized that that's not really what I meant to say, but I couldn't take it back. It was out there. And what's really important is that we take some responsibility for that. But because I'm curious also, I really noticed and understood that there was some underlying moments over a period of time, long time, that there was communications that weren't really spoken. So it builds up. Everything just kind of stacks on top of each other when we're not really communicating what we really want to say for whatever reason. We just don't feel safe for so many reasons. And I think a lot of us do that. We say the wrong thing when maybe certain feelings have gone unspoken for a long time. And repair doesn't just start with defending what we said. We want to be accountable. We want to take some responsibility for that. I think that's important. And that's where the deeper understanding began for me. Feeling unheard has been a theme in my life. I grew up in a generation where kids were seen and not heard. So it's an underlying theme, and I notice that there's a pattern there. And I realized that the real work wasn't just about a comment that I made in that moment. It was about connecting the dots to all those old stories and beliefs, times where I couldn't speak and I wasn't heard, and that still comes up unless we could really notice where it comes from. And that takes some work. And that realization goes both ways. Someone gets triggered by something that we said that really wasn't meant to hurt them, but it's touching an old wound. It's touching something in them that brings up some history, something maybe that there wasn't some resolve in. So there does need to be some self-awareness around about both people. And that doesn't mean making anyone wrong. It simply reminds us that conflict is layered, and oftentimes it's never about what is said in that moment. There's something underlying much deeper that really hasn't been processed or felt in the body over a long period of time. So maybe repairing a sticky situation isn't about proving that you are right. We have to think about, do I want to be right, or do I want to keep this connection? Do I want to connect with the people in my life? Those are two very different things. And we humans do like to be right. We all have that piece. So what's really happening in that moment is something that goes much deeper. It's not something it's rarely about what was said in that moment. Repair begins when we move from reaction to reflection, from blame to curiosity. Like, what's going on with this person? We have to be curious also and have an understanding what the needs are to someone else. Again, there's that layered effect, and emotion comes up, and we really have to, give it some space and maybe just take it a little deeper look. So repair begins, as I said, when we move from reaction to reflection, because relationships, like seasons, are not meant to be perfect all of the time. They have seasons. They're meant to move. They're meant to shift. And hopefully, repair. If you enjoyed this episode, please subscribe to my newsletter on laurierichardoni.com. Let you know when a new podcast, new conversation is coming in. Until next time, Buon Appetito.